Okay. What is up, Team Happy and Fit? I love you. It is my favorite night. I'm so excited, Sarah, that you're here, and I'll give you an introduction in a minute, but I want to do some shout outs, ring the bell. I have someone that I really want to highlight. Caitlin Green, you, first of all, your energy is awesome, but two, you sent me a message today and you got to ring the bell. Can you talk about like who you rang the bell for? But there's something about you ringing the bell that I need you guys to all grasp when she talks about this.
So it's a girl I've been talking to, and I just know that she lacks confidence and she lacks follow through, and she just needs everything that this community offers. And so I wanted it for her so bad, and I've literally been talking to her. I went back to scroll in the messages because I knew it had been so long that I'd been talking to her and trying to get her to do a wellness group or coaching or whatever. And the date actually was July of 2016 that I had been talking to her about doing this, and she finally signed up last night. And I literally just wanted to cry because I'm like, you need this so bad, and you're finally like accepting it and you're going to go for it. So I'm super excited for her.
When you messaged me that and you're like, July of 2016, I was like, 2 years, how many people never follow through and follow up? How many people never continue to do that? They get a no, they get sidetracked, they stop, they're done. This doesn't work for me. Everyone's telling me no. And I'm like, yeah, all the people who are telling you no, it's a not yet, switch it in your brain. They will say yes. And the reason they will say yes is because you don't quit. When you keep on going and you keep showing up, your trust and that consistency and follow through, they're going to be like, you're the real deal. Brittany Burmeister, man, how's the gym, Brittany? How's the gym? How's it going? You need to join me. I'd flip that in there a little bit. Gym's good, Julianne. Gym's good. I'm like, sweet, great, keep going. One day I message her, how's the gym? She's like, I haven't gone. I said, well, I've been waiting for this day. I'm just kidding. I didn't say that, but I thought that. But so cool, right? Like, so Caitlin, when you said that to me, I was like, this is what makes you awesome. This is why I want to work with you, is because you don't stop your journey just because that person, what's her name? Kayla, she didn't say no, or she said no, you didn't stop. You still showed up. You still worked out. You still showed up to the team page. You had an attitude of gratitude, and you just kept going. And then look, but your excitement for when she said yes to this, it was like that win, you guys, you have to get that win. That win will seriously build your confidence. That win will create momentum. And I even think about that. I'm so excited. I welcomed 2 coaches today. And one of them was like, no. And now she sent me an email. I've only read part of it. She's like, I feel so good about that welcome that you did in the team page and your email to help me with my goals. Like, I could just feel how confident she felt in starting her journey because she's given up 2 times before. And I was like, dude, I've got you. Like, this journey, this commitment of the team is going to take you to a different level, because what we have in common on Team Happy and Fit and on our team is that we follow through. All of us show up. I had a coach today that said, is my $15.95 fee worth it? Should I cancel it? I've had to delay my Shakeology. I have 4 months worth. And I said, girl, I'm going to tell you this. If it's just a credit card charge to you, then cancel it. But if you have found more in this than just a credit card charge, I wouldn't. But what I've seen you do is lose weight, gain confidence. I see that you started your journey and you've continued on to it a lot of months. And I just noticed something different about you. I can't help but think that could do something. And then she messaged me. She's like, I'm going to keep it. I can't quit that. But yes, if it's a credit card charge, you guys, quit. Do that. That's not why you should be here, but this should be something more. I said, if you have found accountability in Team Happy and Fit, why would you want to quit that? Because when you arrive at a goal that you had set for yourself, the 35 pounds, 17 pounds, whatever, and you hit it, that's not it. There's so much more growth to happen in that. Is there anyone else that wants to ring the bell? You got to get a win. You've got to get a win. And that win might be someone getting bod. That win might be someone joining your free group. That win might be a friend that sends you a message that says you've been inspiring me. Can anyone else ring the bell for me? Tell me what happened. Tell us what happened. It could be a win in your own life, whatever that win is.
So a year ago, I reached out to a friend I had class with, and we ended up sitting next to each other because someone stole my spot, and we just sat next to each other. So I asked her a year ago and she was interested, but then the price was what was getting in the way of like stopping her. And then a week ago, she reached out to me and she was interested a couple of months ago, but she was going through some liver testing, so she didn't know if she could do it. And then last week she reached out to me and she's like, can you resend me that information? I really need to do something. I'm not getting any results. Like this, like she basically was just helpless. And I was like, yes, I'll send you like the information. And that day she signed up. And I just talked to Amanda. I was on a call with Amanda Hoig earlier. And that is the first Success Club point I've had in a year. A year. So to have that was just, I got to work. It's been great.
Oh my gosh. Can you guys like show some love to her? Most coaches quit. Not you, Turner. Not you, Turner. Turner. I love it. I'm feeling that. That's so good. That's amazing. Keep this business simple, you guys. You help people with products. You help them eat better and you help them move better, right? Like you help them move their body. It's simple. And then you mentor and you get that bonus, right? But this is the compound effect. It all starts with you. So when Ashley was like blowing up saying, man, you've got to read this book. This is speaking life into me. Anytime I'm struggling, I look at myself. How's my journey going? Because usually if I'm not doing well, nothing else is doing well, right? And you can never really find inspiration. Oh, Sarah and I heard this call by Julie Voris. It was so good. And she said, you can't find inspiration in your business. You have to find inspiration in life. Your life will inspire your business. So me in the last couple of days of being remote, like pretty unplugged, but still I still show up, right? Rock climbing and we're going on hikes. It's given me more pep in my step and more inspiration to lead people. Makes sense why 2 coaches signed up yesterday or today. I can't remember today. And I was like, man, that's cool because I was finding so much inspiration in life, felt good in life, felt good in my business, felt good all over, right? That's so awesome. Okay, we're going to stop here. I'm so excited. Sarah reached out to me. We're actually in the same Western mastermind. And this girl's a beast. I don't know if you guys saw, but when someone is lifetime 8-star, and then also 3-star in your second CBC, right? Diamond in your third. When you see that Success Club legend, 2-time elite, which is a beast, that's like crazy. That means she's probably had more failures than any of us on this call. So yes, the accolades like look really cool. But what I know about that, that's hard. Like that is freaking grinding. And Trina says, right? The bottom is crowded, you guys. The bottom is crowded in life. Like people settle for mediocrity. Wouldn't you want more room? I was just talking to Amanda and Shelly about it doesn't matter what path you take in life. Either way, it's going to be hard, but the view gets better each time you keep going and pushing yourself. That every life lesson that we have found to be the most beneficial in us have been the hard ones. And so Sarah's on, and she asked me to speak for her team, which I was so honored. Thank you for doing that. But I was like, you got to speak for us. Is that she like planned to get someone to watch her kids tonight? I think your mom, right? And I was like, you don't have to do that. And she's like, no, I want to. And like is making so much sacrifice just to like speak to us, which is so awesome. So Sarah, we are excited. Team Happy and Fit, what I really want you to do is when you ask questions, you grow. So Sarah's going to speak, but what I want to see you do is I want you to ask her. This girl knows what she's doing. And a lot of times in our business, when you get to a certain point, we do get stuck, like with where we are. Things aren't always as glamorous as they seem, but she's here. And I need to tell you this too. I lost my train of thought. This is that you want to be sitting at her table. If you're wanting where she is, because a lot of times in this business, we struggle with 2 things, comparison and wanting to be there, where we're wanting to be somewhere where we're not. And if you want to be where she's at, you want to sit and mastermind with her. Those are the types of people and types of mindsets that you want to be around. And that's why Diamond was so important to me. It wasn't about the rank. It wasn't about the recognition. It was like, I want to be with the people, but where I want to go, right? If I'm rock climbing, I want to keep pushing myself so I can get to the routes I want to climb, right? I want to surround myself with the people who are growing so I can learn from them. I can't do that if I'm not there with them. So I want you to ask her questions. And they're not going to be silly. You're not going to be like, what's your environment? Like, just ask, and it's going to be awesome. Sarah, I'm talking way too much. Everybody knows that. I'm going to stop. You go ahead, sister. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh my gosh, no, you can never. I could listen to you talk all night long, and I'm sure they could too. I love it. And it was such a cool, crazy God thing that we even connected in the first place, because I'm actually not in the Western region. I'm in the Central region, and I'm in Minnesota. And so I've been abandoned by pretty much every corporate mentor I've ever had. I feel like it's now me because now Brittany's leaving. Like, I'm like, there's something with me because everyone I have ends up leaving. And my upline isn't present. So, like, I connected with Brittany at leadership a few years ago, and she kind of took me under her wing and put me into her mastermind. So I don't even belong there. So the fact that we connected was really cool, because we probably wouldn't have crossed paths at like a smaller, more intimate group type level if that, didn't happen. But instantly, I didn't know much about her other than seeing her share on our masterminds. And then Brittany reinforced, reach out to her to speak to your team if you're looking for somebody. I really think you guys mesh well. And instantly when she was speaking, I'm like, yes, girl. Like, I feel like we're seeing the same thing with the same vibe and the same, way that she spoke to my team would have been the same way I would have, but like leveled up, and so it wasn't, and sometimes where you hear calls from like, top coaches in the network who are brilliant, who know their stuff, but it just doesn't mesh with what is ingrained in you, right? So like you can take nuggets away, but it still doesn't, like, you can't carbon copy because it's just not how you've been taught. Right. And I feel like we are very much on the same page and the same wavelength. And so I hope what I speak to you tonight, you can almost carbon copy, if not, just put that tiny little twist versus just a whole bunch of random little nuggets. But in order to do that, I need to know where you're at as I'm speaking. So blow that chat up with questions, concerns, if you want me to dive more into something, because I 1,000% agree with what you said. I recently did a push in my team to earn the guest spot with me next week to Vegas for leadership. And I finally announced the winner last week, who I'm with me. And another coach on my team messaged me, and she was like, I was really bummed that I didn't win. I was really trying hard. And I'm like, you didn't comment on the post. You didn't send me a message to tell me that you were trying. You didn't ask questions of how to get there. Like, there was absolutely no reaching out to sit at that table, like she was saying, right? No one is going to help you get to where you want to go if you don't make it known that that's where you want to get to. So we have to be open and transparent. And I don't know if you guys have started this too, but I just started it last week when I saw it in the roundtable. But every one-on-one call that I do now is live streamed in my team page, because my team page is 1,500 people with the same question. And I love the intimacy of one-on-one calls, but now I can bless all 1,500 of us with the same tool that can constantly be reused and recycled. If another coach has a coach that has the same issues with onboarding or inviting or finding business coaches or whatever the topic is, and they can just tag them in that video instead of feeling like a failure as a leader because they don't know how to work them through that problem. Right? So again, it's being able to help all of those people answer the same questions, because we all have them. So please, I love questions. Ask them away. But I hope I'm not too far off from the goal of this call. But what I'm aiming to walk you guys through tonight, and tell me if this is going to be helpful or if there's one area specifically you want me to focus on a little bit more. But something that's really been a pain point and a growing nightmare in my business is inviting. Inviting never came easy to me, ever. I am very strategic based in how I'm building. That's why I'm not building my first to 10 star. It doesn't make sense financially for me. So I'm building far and deep and stacking my centers. And I'm very type A, and I have a method to my madness. But sometimes that can get me away from 10xing my stuff, right? Like I set big goals, like I set a plan A goal and a plan B goal, but I always seem to stop myself at the plan B, And like, it's like when you hit Success Club 5 and you're like, pedal off the metal a little bit and just coast the rest of the month, when I could have hit Success Club 20 if I kept going. And that was inviting for me. I stopped as soon as it was okay-ish enough. But I knew that I was doing my team a disservice by not being in the grind with them 1,000% in this area of my business. It's that fourth vital behavior where the first three come pretty easy for all of us, and we're just okay being okay with the other one. So what happens if you're okay being okay with your workouts? You get okay results. If you're okay with your PD, you have a crappy mindset and you end up getting in a funk or get burnt out or fill in the blank, right? So what happens if we're okay with inviting? Well, your business is okay or not going anywhere. So in the last however many weeks, it's really been an area of where I've put Brittany Adamson, our corporate mentor, recommended a book called The One Thing. And I was like, all right, if I'm going to put all my eggs in this one basket, this one thing that gets all my attention, what's the most vital lifeline to my business, it is that. And so that's what I did. So that's what I'm going to speak to you about tonight. Specifically, I'm speaking to Instagram. However, everything that I'm going to share is going to be applicable to Facebook as well. So I'm going to go a little bit about expanding, because I think finding people to invite, you have to know how to find them. So I'm going to first talk a tiny bit about expanding and then a tiny bit about inviting and what that process looks like, and then moving forward. Does that sound okay? All right, cool. So I was talking to a few of my coaches when I was telling them that this is going to be my one thing and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, in all of our new coach trainings, we always talk about who's your dream team, like who's on your dream team and work from this list and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why aren't the coaches almost 5 years in still working from a list? If you asked me to pull out my Diamond Map dream team right now as a 2-time elite coach, whatever else my stats are, almost 5 years deep in this, I don't have one. And that was red flag number one. The fact that I didn't have a current dream team diamond bubble map with names filled in on who was going to be joining my team, that I did not cast that vision out there and speak into fruition that those people were going to be a part of my community, my team, and I was going to change their life, problem number one. So it's the first thing I fixed. It is not a part of new coach training. It is a part of that vital behavior of inviting. Just invite out that dream team, baby. That's it, right? Call over. But how do you find those people to put on your dream team? Okay, so I had a call with a coach, and she was like, I'm trying to expand my Instagram, and I will be 1,000% transparent. My Instagram is Sarah the Hot Mess Mommy. I do invest in paying someone to help me grow my Instagram. However, I do not ever delegate. You can even ask my assistant that helps me with my team graphics. I don't delegate 100% of anything. I will always and forever have my foot in every single task that I do as a coach, because I refuse to tell my team to do something that I'm not doing myself. So I delegate 75% of expanding my Instagram. I own the other 25% because I need to learn how to do it. I need to learn the changes. I need to learn, and I need to be in the grind, able to show them, look at, this is what I did this morning to expand. These are the hashtags that I'm using, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so full transparency there. But this method still works. The numbers are just going to be different. And I'm not going to mention any numbers. I'm not going to tell you how many you follow every day. I'm not going to tell you how many you invite every day. That's up to you, your goals, your business, your time, your priorities. Okay. But what I do is I do a follow-unfollow method. So I follow a whole bunch of people all week long, and Fridays are my unfollow day. You might do follow-unfollow every day. I don't care how you do it, but I follow about 4 times as many people as I unfollow. Okay. So on Fridays, I take a timer. I use an app called Cleaner, and every hour you can unfollow 50 people. So I usually have about a couple hour block on Fridays to work. So every hour my timer goes off on my phone and I go in and I unfollow 50 people. I don't care who they are. It'll just tell me who's not following me back. I take the emotion out of it. I just click all the bubbles that say they're not following you. Boom, done. I move along with my life. I don't write down the people I follow, and I'll tell you how I find them next, okay? A coach of mine was saying, you know, I'm trying to expand my network, but all I'm finding is coaches. Do you ever feel that way? Okay. And I'm like, what hashtags are you using? Let's dive into this. Like, let's figure it out. And she's like, well, you know, community of change, fit mom, inspiration, motivation, something like that. I'm like, okay, great. Those are all great hashtags, but better hashtags to use on your post, because those are hashtags that people are putting in for inspiration. That, you know, when I'm trying to find my daily quotes to use on my Instagram, I'm searching motivation hashtags, right? So you want to use those in your posts because you want people that are searching for those things to find you. But do you want to find people that are using them? Because that's what happens when you're searching a hashtag. It pulls up accounts that are using that hashtag. So who's using hashtag community of change, hashtag fit mom, hashtag blah, blah, blah? Coaches, entrepreneurs, people already knee deep in a fitness business themselves, right? Not who you want to search. I said, who you want to search are the people sitting on the couch at 11:30 at night with a bag of popcorn and a frozen yogurt bar watching Teen Mom. Searching those hashtags. You want that girl. So I said, I just gave you one of the hashtags I use. Hashtag Teen Mom, OG, my guilty pleasure, right? I talked about it on my Instagram story, and literally I got like 10 invites done off of one Instagram story. It was crazy. They're like, oh my gosh, this is my guilty pleasure too. I can't even tell anybody about it. I'm like, girl, I get you. Like, instantly we had something in common, right? And that's who you want, is not the person searching for inspiration and motivation. You want somebody that you have something in common with, and then they're naturally going to get inspiration and motivation from you. Okay? So I said, you just went hiking. This coach I was talking to, you just went hiking. I said, you know, what type of hiking gear do you like? You know, Patagonia, Dick's Sporting Goods, Callaware by whatever her name is, you know, like Fabletics, not even Fabletics and stuff like that. It's getting a little fitnessy. But I said, whatever you do, I said, you're overthinking who you are. What TV show do you watch? Okay. What celebrities do you like? One coach I just talked to today, she's like, I really like cooking. I said, okay, go follow the Food Network. Is there a certain show you like, a certain recipe book you like? I turn around on my bookshelf and I can find any one of my devotionals, any one of my books. Not this side is all my self-help PD books, but like my pleasure reading books. Those ones I want to network people through. And I said, I will typically find one page to follow or hashtag to use and only use that. If you're sitting there putting in 15 different hashtags and trying to follow a bunch of people each day using a bunch of them, you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot with time. I said, this is an example I use very often, but one of my favorite celebrities to follow is Jesse James Decker. I went to college with her husband, Eric Decker. And I know way too many embarrassing stories about him. But I love following them and their life together now and their little kids. And she's hilarious and funny and adorable. And any one of her posts gets 3,000 plus comments. Anybody that likes Jesse James Decker, I want to have something in common with, because they like her style, her sense of humor, the way she mothers and parents. They think her husband's hot. You know, so do I. Whatever it is we have in common, like, I'm going to like them. So I go to one of her posts with 3,000 comments and I just go follow. I don't care if they're private. I don't care if they're public, but I hammer out 50 follows in 30 seconds. And that's the same for the person that's doing following Food Network shows, right? Or maybe they're a runner and they're looking for Brooks running shoes or whatever, and they're hashing and finding those people. Go to I love the show Fixer Upper and Chip and Joanna Gaines. I'll go to any one of their pages, comments, follow. Again, this is applicable to Facebook too if you're expanding there. Just follow their pages. So that's one of my favorite ways to find people. But remember, when you're doing that, it has to make sense on your feed. This is where you use your feed as a place of constant self-reflection to who you're trying to follow, okay? So if I'm trying to follow my Chip and Joanna gains, if I'm using that hashtag as a network, right? And I'm diving into that market, I want to make sure I'm showing pictures of my home in my style, in my stories, and on my feed. If they came to my feed and did a quick 7-second snapshot, who's this person that just followed me? And I have all these modern, contemporary type styles in my home, they're going to be like, we don't have anything common, like whatever. So the way that you're networking, make sure that that's expressed, because they're going to do a quick snapshot judgment whether they're going to stay or go from your page and follow you back or not. Again, I don't care if they do and they're going to come off or stay in my follow unfollow method. That's not my priority. This is just how I find people to follow. Okay? I don't invest time writing their name down until they follow me back. The moment I get that little notification in my Instagram that said so-and-so followed you back is the moment they get written down on a spreadsheet. And I'm not going to get into how I track or anything like that, but that's just when I start to really invest in building the relationship, finding out who they are, connecting with why I followed them, all that jazz. Okay, so I'm going to pause super duper fast and read any questions so far.
I have a question. Well, so they were just wondering, and I'm thinking you're probably going to get into it, are you just following, and then when they follow back, are you connecting and then sending out an invite? Or are you inviting right away in a cold invite?
Right. So you're going to see how I do my invites. I don't really know to answer that, but I will tell you how I do my invites. But really the reason I'm writing their name down is more just so that in the first 2 weeks to me is prime time. So the first 2 weeks, whether it's delegated to an assistant or I'm physically doing this to a degree, I am loving on their posts at least 3 times a week, likes and comments, watching their stories, and maybe a PM. Because that's when they're going to know that I didn't just shoot them a follow for no reason. And I'll dive into the inviting too, but here's the thing. The goal is to find people just like you. What radio station do you listen to? What artists do you like? Like, don't overthink the hashtags. The hashtags should you could literally make a hashtag from the moment you put your feet on the ground out of bed this morning to the moment you go to bed and find a bajillion different ways to network with them. No, Sarah, I don't directly PM them after I follow them. I wait for my feed to do the talking, because I felt like when I did that for a while, again, this is my process now after a lot of failures, and it might work better for you to PM them directly, but a lot of the people that I was PMing directly, it would go in a random folder that they wouldn't see because we weren't yet following each other, and it was a waste of my time. And now my time, single mom with 2 kids, is so precious. I'm down and dirty. I'm just whipping them out as fast as I can and 10xing those numbers so that my quality and return on investment is just the same. I've just learned to be a little bit more efficient with it, I guess, on a bigger scale. So the goal is to find people just like you so the conversations are natural, and regardless of if they continue to follow me after 2 weeks or right away, or regardless of if they ever join my team or purchase anything, I want them in my feed because they're a bad bee and I like them, right? And we already have something in common. Like, I want them in my feed because of however I found them. So that is why I love doing it this way, because it means so much more to me than finding a business coach, than finding my next challenger. It's finding who's going to make my feed super duper fun. And to me, that takes the ish out of it, and it makes it so natural and so genuine that they know that I'm there and I'm not there to sell them. So how do you filter through the number of hashtags? What's most applicable? I don't have a number. So this is just for finding people. So it's not what I use on my posts. what I use on my posts is, like I said in the beginning, of who I want to find me. So what I'm using when I'm seeking people, I usually just use the same one, honestly, for like a month, or until I start to find that it's not working. I could use it forever if I want to. I use the hashtag blonde biolash for a really long time because that's how I get my hair done, until a whole bunch of hairdressers took over Instagram and now they use that hashtag. So then I switched, right? So as soon as you see the switch, it's not working, you change it. Okay, so that's pretty much it for expanding. And so now to inviting. So did you guys know, Britt shared this a few times, that it takes 66 days to actually create a habit? Guess what I'm doing right now with my team? Well, actually, I don't really care if they're doing it with me or not, but I'm spamming my page every day. A special little push group, not my team page. We're 66 days. We're on day, I don't know, 8 now, I think. But it doesn't seem like a lot. But the momentum people already feel of inviting is bananas. So every day we have to post screenshots of our invites for 66 days. And it's not about posting, I did 10, I did whatever. Some days I post 1. But it's the fact that I showed up and I did it, and now inviting is so easy to me. It's so much fun. So anyways, that's what we're doing. But a method that I use for inviting, and this is why I don't know how long I'm following them or anything like that. And this is different because if you don't have a lot of followers on Instagram, you might choose to do it a different way. But you might choose to do it from that list. Like, okay, I followed all these people this week. This is how I would have done it before if I had a smaller Instagram. I would have written down these people and then followed for 2 weeks, and then maybe engaged and started an invite to like a free group or a challenge group or something, and then maybe a couple weeks later invited them to a coaching glimpse. And I would have kept track of it that way. But because I'm in such growth mode and 10x mode, it's not scalable for me to do that right now. So I'm using a simple A to Z method. So I go to my followers who's already following me, not who I'm following, and I type in A in the search bar, and I just go through and I whip them out. And then after my timer goes off, I write what the name was of the person that I left off at. So that A person could potentially be someone I just started following, but I don't care. Whatever. What's it to you? So what if I started following her yesterday and I invited her today? I don't care. If she doesn't say yes, not meant to be. No harm done to me. No tears shed. No sweat off my back. Like, I'm moving forward. This train is going whether I accidentally invited someone yesterday or not. So I do A to Z, and what I say is, you guys want to know what I say? I say, first, I connect. Hey, I've been following you for a bit. Only if I'm following them back, obviously. If someone's following me that I'm not following back, I just click follow and I write their name down, and then I will invite them next week. So I do have a tiny little list, but it's only if I look at their profile and I'm like, yeah, she's good, right? It's only like the cream of the crop that I take time to do that with. But I say, hey, I've been following you for a bit. I really admire, fill in whatever the blank that I like about their page. And this isn't every single person in the A's. This is the cream of the crop too. Right? These are the people that I know would respond or need this community that I'm inviting them to. I say I run online fitness and nutrition and accountability groups for women just like us, where I aim to cultivate a place for overall growth. We focus on mindset, big goals. I've kind of tweaked this a tiny bit to, again, fit their needs and desires. Time management, whatever it might be that might speak to their life, and creating more positivity in our lives and really living a full life of purpose and passion. It seems like you desire those things too, and would fit right in with our awesome group. Would you like to hear more of what it entails? And I can copy and paste that in the chat thread for you guys too. But that's it. And some ghost me, some say no thanks, and I say, all right, great, keep being amazing. I love blah, blah, blah. Or I'll send them a free meal plan as a thank you if they say no. I try to give every single no a little piece of value, because that to me shows that this isn't I'm not just doing this for something out of them, right? I still want to help them. I still love them. I'm still going to follow them. So once they say in return, yeah, I would love more info, I either add them to one of my team's What is a Challenge group. We run What is a Challenge group, Snoop groups, just like we do What is Coaching Snoop groups. And we have them in the format of units. So at any time, someone can add a potential to that Facebook group, and they can click on, it covers who, what, why, and how. So they can just go in there and click on who a challenge group's for, what a challenge group is or a challenge pack is, why people do it, so a whole bunch of transformations, and how they get started. So they can click through those 4 little tabs, 4 little posts, and know if this is for them. I also created a little 4-minute video on YouTube that is me screen sharing inside my tracker app and screen sharing inside BOD to show them visually. They can hear my voice talk about my challenge groups, talk about us working on mindset, crushing goals. They can see the energy in my tracker app, see what it's like. It's not some scary imaginary virtual little thing that they can't put a face to a name. And I just send that. I said, awesome, I'd love to tell you more. If I send you this little video, would you take a peek? And then I can follow up tomorrow and see if you have any more questions. If I would you, always try to if I would you. Even with the free meal plans. If I shot you a quick little 7-day meal plan just to say thanks for being awesome, would you use it? So, I'm sure this is a question. What do you do about when they only have IG? Do you send an email and skip the face? That's why I made that video. Yeah, yep, that was actually because I started expanding 100% on Instagram, and I ran into that a lot. That's also why I shifted 100% over to the tracker app group and all that jazz. So yeah, 90% of my invites are straight to a challenge group because I do so much love and boasting about my team in there and on my stories that once they get me as a coach and they follow me on social media, my job is to show. I actually just did my one-on-one hot seat call today about finding business coaches. That was the only thing the girl wanted to talk about. And I said, look, here's the thing. If I go to your page and I know you had an amazing transformation, she's like, selling challenge packs is easy for me. I'm like, because you talk about it with such conviction that these programs changed your life. I said, I go to your page and I know I'm going to go to you to help me lose weight and get my nutrition in check. I don't see anywhere that I can go to your page and you're going to be a baller mentor to me and you're going to guide me to hammering goals, to creating passion and energy and excitement and enthusiasm and community in my life. Like, show people how you're going to mentor them. And don't tell me I don't have anyone to mentor, so I don't know how to do that. You're on a call right now experiencing mentorship. Share this like you're leading this call because you are in the question thread. Okay? Speak to your audience, speak to your feed with conviction that you are. Show them what it's like. Just like that video where I'm screen sharing and I'm showing them what my tracker app's like, what this is like. I have the same 4-minute one about what coaching is like on my team. And you can make the same video if you don't have another member on your team, and you can share inside Team Happy and Fit and show them this is my bomb-ass team and we are a part of a top team in the company. This is the energy. This is the celebration. This is the enthusiasm. This is the community. These are what our team call. Like, you could go on and on with that passion and purpose and conviction. But if you're not doing those things, people are not going to say, yeah, Sarah, I want you to mentor me to reach some amazing financial goals because I want to leave my job. If they never knew that that's what you're freaking doing or that you have the capability of doing. Same thing with a challenge pack. If you don't own the fact that you can guide someone through step by step how to lose a weight, how to beat binge eating, how to throw away bad habits, how to overcome, anything, they're not going to magically just reach out to you one day or read a post and say, yeah, that post is really great. They're not. They're going to see it every single day. So that's my 2 cent soapbox on finding business coaches. It comes down to the message that you're sharing on your social media every single day. There's no magic hashtag. There's no anything. Yes, that's how you find cool people. But just because I'm finding a whole bunch of cute people with blonde bylaws that like Chip and Joanna Gaines and Teen Mom does not mean I'm going to be 10-star. That comes down to me showing those people following me that I have the tools and resources and energy and desire to bring them to where they want to go in life. That's all I got.
Girl, we can just stop right there, but I'm not trying to because that was so flipping good. Thank you. And I, first of all, took so many notes, and I think like, oh, you are incredible. And people follow conviction. People follow passion. When you own that this has changed your life, that's addicting. When you own, like every single person on this call can own that what Beachbody has done for you has changed and transformed your life. And when you start speaking like that, just like Ashley spoke about her book, like when you start speaking about the team and how you guys, you are part of a very successful team, not just Happy and Fit. Trina Gray, Sarah was telling me like, I freaking love Trina. And she's like, I wish like I had someone like that, in that. And girl, we like, yes. But you are a part of something so successful, and it's not because of an accolade. It's a mindset. It's a feeling. It's a camaraderie. It's this Zoom that you literally pour. Isn't This Is Us starting tonight? And you all are here, right here? Like, are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, come on. Like
That's on DVR, friend.
Yes. Oh, yes. It is. It's starting tonight. They're like, oh, it's on tonight. Didn't know. But you're here and you are masterminding because you desire growth and people pouring into you. Get people here. You all deserve that so much. Okay. What are your questions? Please answer them. And if you don't know where to start with a question, can you guys recap a piece of a takeaway that you took? Like what spoke to you? How did Sarah speak to you? And then maybe she can clarify something, build off that. I'm muting myself. You guys go.
Cream of the crop, baby, for sure. Your time is money.
Can you guys ask without not in the chat? Sorry. Can you unmute?
Hey, Sarah. Thanks for coming and joining us today. Question for you is, what are your challenge groups looking like?
Right.
Do you like pour a bunch of time and content and like give them everything, or do you have them like simple, clean, we're here to check in, fitness, nutrition, you level up to my team to do other things? Like, what does that look like?
Great question. So I only use a tracker app, and it's a rotating group. I never have a start and stop date. Every year I start a new group. So it's like, I don't know, a bajillion days in, but it's really helped keep the energy up, keep people who have fallen off, get back on, and always be showing and highlighting different programs and all that stuff. So that's kind of how I structure them. They're ongoing. And I've pretty much 100% gotten away from content from the Beachbody feed, unless like the only time I do program specific groups is for my entire downline on Facebook for like Lift 4, and it will be one round, and I will use the challenge group guides from Beachbody. But what I found was I was spending all this time buffering all these posts from all these challenge tracker guides and blah blah blah, and I'm like, why did they join me? It was because they saw me showing up every day on my feed. So that's what I do in my group. Show up every day. I did this workout today. I had to modify this. Felt like crap. I had to take 2 scoops of Energize. Forgot my shake. I'm drinking at 8 p.m. Like I just share my day. I share me, and then they share them, and then they all relate, and it's pretty magical. But I got into my challenge groups are crickets mode for a long time, and it was because I wasn't adding new people. I wasn't asking them to level up. Every month I try to reset the expectations. This group is if you are liking and commenting and engaging and supporting other people. The only real like scheduled post I do is every Sunday, and my team has done this for almost 5 years. We do Sunday shares where we share a highlight of our week last week so we can let that whatever didn't go right go and focus heading into a new week on something amazing that happened. And I do that in my challenge groups now to kind of give them a taste of what my team does. And I say that every Sunday, this is what my team does, you know, and I will talk a lot about working at a coffee shop, getting where I'll show them what my office looks like. And I'm going to eat some egg bites and oatmeal for my To Be mindset setup. You know, I'll talk about coaching in little ways like that inside of my group. But as far as content goes, it's just me and my life, really. Like, it's no special guide that I buffer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ashley, can you ask your question and unmute? It was good.
Yeah, sorry. So I think I have a problem. Actually, I don't think. I know I have a problem with chronic coaching. My husband, you know, gets mad at me because I'm always on my phone. Like, as soon as I see somebody message me, I try not to, like, jump right in. But at the same time, I don't want to wait. Like, I just don't know, you know, how do you carry on, but yet without sounding like you're completely shutting them out at the same time, if that makes sense.
Right. Love that you asked this. In the beginning, I was that way. And I actually believe I even spoke about this at Summit a little bit, but like, your business, if I showed up to Target at 11 o'clock or 11:05 and they close at 11, they're not gonna be like, oh yeah, it's Sarah, she just needs a couple things to let her on in. They're gonna be like, no, sorry girl, see you tomorrow. Like, that's a business. You are a business. And I still didn't listen. I still was a revolving door business. I was real close to teetering on burnout and stopping at year 2 because I was sick and tired of constantly being on. Whose fault was that? Mine. Because I am a whatever gem that is, pearl or whatever, I'm an empath. I do things for other people. The only reason I went diamond in 19 days was because my upline said, you are my 15th diamond. I need you to go diamond by next Thursday to get 15 star or we lose this. Game on, done. It was for somebody else, so I did it. That's how I have to alter all my goals in this business, because if I make them about me, I won't do them. So I don't know if you're that same way or if this might not speak to you at all, but what helped me break that cycle, Ashley, was when someone told me that if I don't stop doing that revolving door BS, that every one of my coaches is going to do the same thing. And God forbid I set them up for that horse crap mentality that they always have to be on, because then their priorities and their family are going to get out of whack. This business is going to seem like it's taking over their life, and they're going to blame this business for everything else and their life falling apart. And I'll be damned if that happened to me, and that's the day I stopped and I never did it again. I don't have any notifications go to my phone at all. The only way I even told Julie on this, I'm like, sorry, I didn't respond. Like, I don't get messenger notifications, nothing, unless I have a set business hour and I open up that app, and I only do it on my computer, because if I do it on my phone, it gets lost.
Literally, Sarah and I communicating with every few days, because I do the same thing. I have no notifications that show up. I have no text. Like, I was telling the girls earlier that sometimes I'll have 10 text messages for sometimes a week, you guys. Or I know that sounds crazy, but like sometimes the messenger, I used to do the 24-hour rule until I started getting 80 messages a day, you know, where I was like, you know what, Julianne, you're just going to have to give yourself some grace and get through it when you can. And when I'm in it, I don't know if you're like this too, Sarah, but when I'm in. So I'm like, I'm going to go through all my messages right now in my power hour or power pocket. And then I don't respond back necessarily, maybe just like depending on who it is, if they're about to purchase or whatever, but I'm going through them, and it's almost like a game to me. Like, how quickly can I get through all these messages? And then I'm out. And then I'm doing the other things. So I love that you asked that question, Ashley, because you're saying your husband's getting upset with you. Like, yeah, like Eric used to get upset at me as well. And I was like, okay, I need to create, and it was driving me crazy. It was obsessive.
And I don't have a husband, but I have children that I don't want to see me on my phone. The moment I come in, if I had a nanny day or a nanny power pocket or whatever, my phone goes in my room and it's nowhere near me. I did get an Apple Watch because then if it's like an emergency and my mom needs me or something, I can see the call, but everything else is out of sight. And that really helped. But as far as messaging goes and the race to get it all done, I do that also. And I'm a nurse, so I think of it as a triage. So the first people that get my question or my messages answered are the people I've never spoken to before or a new prospect. The second one are my current challengers, not the ones that constantly suck your blood, but my current challengers that are like HD members, because they already have the tools that they need. They have a Beachbody account. They can go to FAQ. They can go to search. And the third is my coaches. My coaches get the bottom of the totem pole, not because they mean less to me, but because I want to teach them independence and I want to show them how to get the chance to use their resources, and they know not to message me until they've posted in our team page, tagged me, searched FAQ, and Google. So that's how I triage my inbox.
Thank you.
You got it, girl. But do it now.
Time
Hey,
for-
Sarah.
Oh, good. Go, Maddie.
What do your everyday stories look like?
On Insta?
Yes.
Oh, pretty much today it was me walking around in public accidentally with Crocs and socks. I don't really know, just my hot ass mess life of not knowing what day it is and literally just whatever. But I do have, every morning I post a personal development quote. And that keeps me, that's like my thing. And actually I have a lot of people that follow my page just for that quote now because I've done it for almost a year. So I think that finding in your stories that one thing that you will do consistently without fail will get you consistent story followers. So whether I'm posting about my little girls all day or coaching or whatever, they're still going to take a peek because they want to see that quote. Right? So something along that line. But as far as speaking about the opportunity, I don't post my workouts every day on there. I do every couple days because I'm not the coach that's going to preach 100%. I'm going to preach the lift 4 days a week. The rest are kind of whatever, but I'm always doing 2B. I'm always 80-20. That kind of life. So I'm not an everyday shaker poster, fitness poster. Every day I share my girls because that's the message I want to portray, that you can run a successful business as a mother with your children being priority, but I do strategize my stories based around my posts a little bit. So what I mean by that is like tonight if you go to my feed, I have a method to my feed too. So there should be always a column with a quote, a fitness selfie, a quote, a before and after, a quote, a fitness selfie, a quote, a before and after. And the rest is all family, Sarah, whatever. But that helps me make sure I have a good balance of calls to action and sharing the fitness part without it getting overwhelming and still being visually appealing. So tonight is a before and after post. So I'm going to post that. And then tomorrow I'm going to piggyback bringing in my stories, showing them to go back to that post that I did last night. And I will share inside my challenge groups, challenger testimonies. So my stories are really only strategized based around the post in my feed or an event coming up. And that's how I balance my stories not being like totally spammy all day about business, totally spammy all day about product. Does that answer your question?
So good. Okay, you similarly asked me this question. You were saying like, how did you know you could do this? Like, how'd you stick it out when it got hard? And that's my question for you. And we'll end on that is like, when did you see that this was the bridge to freedom for you? And like, how did you get here? Like, what did that look like? And I'm excited to hear your answer.
Oh boy. This is 2 moments in my coaching career that I will never forget. One was from a coach. Her name is Steph Davies. She told me out of leadership. I was sitting there and I was saying, I kind of had a sore attitude and I was saying a lot of yeah buts, like I want to be 10-star but blah, blah, blah. I want to be elite but blah, blah, blah. And she's like, you're never going to make this work with that attitude. And she was like, I love you to pieces, but I can't be around that. Like, I really am trying to protect myself right now. And I'm like, I'm that person? Like, no one's ever told me I'm that negative sore-thumb person. And I wasn't really, but it wasn't a business mind. I was really bad place. So she told me, get out of it. And I didn't believe I could until she told me to get out of that space first. So that had to happen first. And after that came my corporate mentor at the time telling me, you keep saying you want to have a full-time income. You keep saying you want to do these things on this call. But Sarah, you're working 2 full-time nursing jobs. You're building this business on your lunch break. Like, you can't realistically build to where you want to keep going if you're not taking a few more risks and giving yourself more time in your day to build this business. And it was scary because I took away hours at work. I took a huge pay cut to earn pennies for the hour to be able to try with everything I had to leave 1 nursing job at a time. Started with 3. 90 hours a week. And he's like, Sarah, I'm not going to lie to you and sit here and say you can build a 6-figure business on 15 minutes a day. You can't. So you decide if you want to take that risk or not. And it was taking that risk that made me believe that I could, because I had to. If I constantly just tried to build it in a power pocket, maybe someday, but it wouldn't have turned into what it did as quick as it did.
Girl, I can relate to that. I can relate to that when you throw it all in. Like, I've been there. Real quick, out of curiosity, how's everybody feeling right now? What is a word that speaks to your soul on how Sarah made you feel tonight? Fired up.
Aww.
Fired up. Lit up.
Yeah.
Pumped. Inspired. Excited. I love this tribe.
You guys are adorable.
So helpful.
Love it.
Convicted. Ready to get to work. And Sarah, you dropped it. Faithful.
Aww.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I needed this. Boss mom, ready to go. Man, I think if there's anything, and I think Sarah would agree with this, that there's so much room. Like, there's no limit to success in this. It doesn't play favorites. Like, Sarah and I are drastically different, and we just had the same belief. Like, we just believed that we could. And I'm telling you what, being able to collaborate with her is one of the coolest things ever, because that's who I want to collaborate with, are people that are going to elevate me. Like, you just taught me so much tonight. I don't know it all. And when I know it all, I'm done. And we both said that. It's like, what's the point, right? And I just appreciate your conviction and truth. Like, you just were really honest and gave a lot of us some gut checks. And I really appreciate that. I'm going to hit end on record.